इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देशतारिणे पाश्चात देशतारिणे जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। इन आने वाले 8 दिनों में,
in the next upcoming 8 days, if you want to marry, then don't marry. If you want to do other sanskar as mundan, then don't do that also. And for the next 8 days, don't enter a new home. If you want to buy a land or develop a new building, you should not start that. Don't start a new business in these days. Don't buy a new vehicle. And if you desire to buy a new thing, then you avoid that as well. Because these 8 days from today, the Hola Ashtak is starting according to India, and from US, from tomorrow for US, the Falgun Shukla Ashtami starts the Hola Ashtak, which is from Ashtami till the Purnima, like the full moon of the lunar calendar, and it ends on the day of Holi, the festival of colors. So every year before Holi, these 8 days, the Holi Ashtak is celebrated, and especially this festival in the north. It is specially celebrated in Punjab, Bihar, Haryana, Himachal, etc. It is celebrated with great pomp and show. As I told that you should not do any new auspicious things on this day, it is considered inauspicious. And what is that we should do in these 8 days? We should offer flowers, fruits, water, bhoga, etc. to the Lord. We should do charity towards the Brahmana and others, and we should do veneration of the Lord through the stutis from Shrimad Bhagavatam, or the stutis or special veneration that are taught by Srila Prabhupada. And especially, it is really pious to perform austerity in these 8 days. And this started from the Treta Yuga. According to the Puranas, the pastime is like that why these 8 days are should be avoided for some work, and some others are specially done in these 8 days. So there are two histories behind it. First, in Ramayana, there is a mention a great demon manifested. It's mentioned in the Puranas.
विष्णु भक्ता सुरा प्रोक्ता आसुरम एतत विपर्यय। इस दुनिया में
In this world, there are two types of people, demons or demigods. And since the start of the material world, they both coexist together. So the devotees of Vishnu and the others who oppose Lord Sri Vishnu are called demons, while the devotees are considered as suras. So, a Tarkasur named demon manifested in Treta Yuga. And he was so strong that when he fought with all the demigods, he almost defeated all of them. And he was troubling all the demigods. The demigods were at the end of their wit and was so much distressed, and they reached to Brahmaji. And Brahmaji said, they said that he said that this Tarkasur will not die until and unless Shivji begets a son, because his son only will be able to kill him, Tarkasur. And it is during those days when Sati ji has already left this material world and she has again remanifested as Parvati, and in Kanyakumari she was meditating or was in trance to get Shiva as her husband. And on the other hand, Shivji is also fixed in his trance. And here demigods were told by Brahmaji that only Tarkasur can be killed by the son of Lord Shiva. So the demigods are selfish. They are always considered as selfish in Puranas, Ramayana, etc. The Lord Shiva is in trance and meditating on the Lord, and yet the demigods sent Kamdev to break the trance of Lord Shiva. So it started on this day, that is Falgun Shukla Paksh Ashtami, that is the 8th day of the lunar calendar towards the full moon. So they went Kamdev, they sent Kamdev and said that you should not go alone, you should go with all your associates, and by hook or crook, just break Shivji's trance. Until unless his trance is broken, he won't be married, and until unless he's married, he cannot beget a son. And till the time, Tarkasur cannot be killed. Kamadev's chariot has the sign of a fish, that is Matsya, and he took all the celestial nymphs to the Kailash mountain, and Shivji is in trance of Lord Srihari, Bhagwan Vishnu. He used all his art to spoil someone's mind. So whatever that art he had, he used it. Nowadays, that same art is with the directors of these movies. The directors of these films, they make the movies in such a manner that even the innocent child can become lustful by just watching those movies. So this is what Kamdev was doing. He made them the celestial nymphs to dance, and he made the environment sensual. And the effect of this was felt throughout the world, but Shivji was still in his deep meditation or trance, and everybody was getting affected by this environment. Even the brahmacharyas were were breaking their virtues. The knowledgeable were getting lost in ignorance. The greatest yogis and sages and siddhas and austere saints all were getting affected by the carnal desire and lust. So it is mentioned in Ramayan like this.
बस जोगी सतापस पावरही की को कहे देखहि चराचर नारीमय जे ब्रह्ममय देखत रहे अबला विलोकहि पुरुषमय जग पुरुष सब अबलामयम् दुई दंड भरी ब्रह्मांड भीतर काम कृत कौतुक अयम. रामायण में कहते हैं,
it is mentioned in Ramayana, everybody was controlled by their carnal desires, and who? The biggest yogis and the greatest austere people, and what if the greatest sages and saints were getting affected by carnal desire and lust, then what about the common man who has no control or austerity? Kamdev affected with so many bows and arrows that the whole world started look as women. Although the people who used to see Lord in everyone, they wanted to see, they started to see everyone as women. And all the women started to see all the people as only men. So it don't took much time, and the whole Brahman or the universe was affected. Such was the potency of Kamadev. So at that time, Kamdev did it personally, physically, but now the position of this material world is that Goswamiji says a beautiful principle. He says that this, if you want to get relieved of such carnal desires or sense gratification, then this desire, as mentioned by Krishna in Bhagvat Gita, is it is like a huge boat, but when it faces the wind, then it blows away the boat. So this desire is like the waves in the sea, and no matter how much powerful, knowledgeable, austere person you are, but when we are ruled by our senses or controlled by them, then we will definitely fall down. This is why, if you see in the below verse, Goswamiji writes, and there is only one person who can save us from these carnal desires. And he says that only Lord Ram can save such people. So, if we want to get relieved of these sense gratification, then that can be done only by the mercy of Lord Sri Ram or Lord Sri Krishna. If we think that we will do it on our own pursuit, then it is impossible. That is the reason we should constantly pray to the Lord that please save us from all these senses and the waves of desires. So he says that not only men and women, even a picture of a person can affect us and create the lust or carnal desire. And Goswamiji says that only Ram can save us. Shobri Rishi performed austerity for 60,000 years inside the Yamuna ji. And just when he saw the procreation of a fish, he changed. And there, Pururva Maharaj also said the same. If we want to do it on our own endeavor, we cannot be relieved of our sense gratification or desires. Only by the mercy of the Lord it is possible to achieve. And the world became all filled with carnal desires. And still Shivji was in trance. And now Kamdev showered his last 5 arrows. So by those, Shivji was not affected by senses, but he became angry.
भयं कोपु कंपेउ त्रिलोका भयउ कंपु कंपेउ त्रिहुलोका सौरभ पल्लव बदन विलोका। शिव जी ने देखा
when Shivji saw that Kamdev have shooted his arrows, Shivji became angry. And as soon as he got angry, the whole three worlds started shaking, and Shivji's third eye started to open. It's always closed, and it opens only at the time of destruction of the universe. But Shivji became so angry that his third eye opened.
नयन उघारा तब शिवती सर नयन युगारा चितवन कामो भयऊ जय छारा चितवत काम भयऊ जरि छारा। शिवजी ने अपना तीसरा नेत्र खोला।
Shivji opened his third eye and he burnt the Kamdev into ashes. So we should try to understand a principle here. Shivji killed Kamdev through his third eye. He could have shooted him with his trident, or he could have cursed him. But why did he open his third eye and killed him? He wants to give us a principle or philosophy here that the calm is in all our hearts. There is no one who can say that I am free of desires. We all have desires. It may be dormant, but if given an opportunity, it awakens in our heart. But when does it opens? Listen carefully, it's important philosophical point. When does the dormant desire manifest in our heart? When we see some scene from our eyes. So where does the lust enters? From where? He enters through our eyes. And then it manifests in our heart. And that is the reason Shivji burnt Kamdev through his third eye. So the principle is that when we see a bad image in front of our eyes, then we should burn it at the same point. We should not allow our senses to see any imagery which can enter through our eyes and enter into our mind and our heart and intelligence. And once it is seated in our heart, then it is impossible or very difficult to get it out of our system. Just remember the pastime or proclivity of Ajamil, who was such a devout son, but he turned into the biggest sinner of this world just because he saw once a bad imagery of a prostitute with a man, and he tried to remove it from his mind, but he was unable to do so, and ultimately it entered into his heart and destroyed him. So we should try to avoid these kind of lustful imagery in our eyes. And in Kali Yuga, the age of quarrel and hypocrisy, if we get these images in somehow unintentionally, then what is the antivirus? We should look more into Lord's images and his forms. When Kamdev was burnt such, the whole world became distressed. and the
प्रजा की उत्पत्ति रोक
material world came to
कर दिया।
an
समझी काम
stop
सुख, सोच
or halt.
की भये अकंटक साधक जोगी। हाँ, जो
There was
साधक
no
थे, योगी थे,
population
ब्रह्मचारी थे, उनको
growth.
तो बड़ा आनंद आ गया।
So the yogis, the
लेकिन जो
sages,
काम
and
थे,
austere
उनको बहुत
persons
बुरा समझ गया।
were ecstatic, but the
और
materialists
यहाँ
of this
पर
world were distressed.
कि
And if I
शिव जी
say,
ने कामदेव को किस दिन मारा था?
so when
ये
was
आज का दिन है। फाल्गुन मास
Kamdev
शुक्ल पक्ष
burnt by Shivji?
अष्टमी तिथि।
It was today's
आज
day,
के दिन
that
शिव जी
is
ने
Falgun
अपना तीसरा
Shukla
चक्र
Paksh,
खोलकर
8th day
कामदेव को
of the
भस्मीभूत
lunar
किया।
month,
हम्म?
towards the
थोड़ा धन्यवाद तो बनता है ना
full moon.
कि प्रभु आपने हमको इतनी बड़ी बात याद कराई।
So
वैसे देखा जाए ना 365 दिन में कुछ ना कुछ तो बनता ही है, होता ही
if we
है।
see that all the 365 days something or other is
तो
important,
आज के
but
दिन
today
शिव
is
जी
a
ने
huge
कामदेव
day.
को भस्मीभूत किया। तो आज और फिर आज क्या हुआ, कामदेव की पत्नी है,
And
उस
his
पत्नी का
wife
नाम है रति।
Rati,
और रति ने देखा कि मेरा
when
पति
she
मर गया,
saw that my
शिव जी ने मेरे
husband is
पति को मार
dead,
दिया। तो कामदेव की पत्नी
then
रति बहुत दुखी हुई
she
और
was
आज से
extremely
उसने
saddened
तपस्या प्रारंभ की।
and she started austerity from this day.
इसलिए मैंने कहा ना कि आज से तपस्या करने के दिन है।
That is why I told you that today, from today, it's an auspicious day to perform austerity.
एक दिन, दो दिन, तीन, चार, पाँच, छह, सात, आठवां दिन आया।
And on the 8th day of performing austerity by Rati Devi, so all these days of Hola Ashtak, and Shivji became satisfied and happy. She bowed down at the lotus feet of Lord Shiva and said that whatever happened, you could have punished my husband, but you have killed my husband. This world needs desires, but you have finished him completely. He said that I have killed him. She said that please give my husband life once more. He said that as you have performed austerity on these auspicious 8 days of Hola Ashtak, and I am satisfied with you, although your husband is dead, but I will give you a benediction that your husband will manifest without a body in this material world. That is why now his name will be an Ang, that is a person without body. Then she said that where will he stay? He said that from now on he will stay in heart of everybody. If you see in this verse, it is mentioned here. Hey Rati, from now onwards your husband's name will be Anang, and he will catch and will manifest in everyone's heart without any body. So since that day, Kamdev resides in everyone's heart. And Shivji says that when Krishna will take incarnation in Yadu Vansh or Yadu dynasty to remove all the demons, then he will have a son whose name will be Pradyumna, and he will manifest, your husband Kamdev will manifest as Pradyumna in Dwapar Yuga as Lord Shri Krishna's son. So, when we are talking about Kama, we are not saying that it is bad. Krishna says in Bhagvat Gita, O Arjuna, Kama is my form. He is Lord Shri Krishna's son, Pradyumna. But if you use it in a positive sense, then it is good. We should not misuse this. then this was created, the system was created for good of the people, but people started misusing it. The people of this world, people have become devoid of self-righteousness and principles. So whenever there is karma, there is Krishna himself manifesting. So this calm should, so Srila Prabhupada says that this desire or lust, if not used for our sense gratification, but used in performing the pure devotional service towards the Lord, in raising Krishna conscious children, then it is based on the principle of the Vedic injunctions.
और होली के दिन ये तपस्या समाप्त हुई और शिव जी ने उनको पुनः वरदान प्राप्त किया था, इसलिए ये 8 दिन होलाष्टक माना जाता है.
These 8 days are considered as Holastak. And in terms of material world, so all these material activities should not be performed, and more transcendental services should be performed. Second, what happened in these 8 days? In Satyuga, Hiranyakashipu started to kill Prahlad Maharaj from this day. The verse is in front of your screen.
माया भी सन्निरोधेश्च गरदानेर भोजने हिमवायवग्नि सलिले पर्वताक्रमणेरपि न शशाक यदा हन्तुम् अपापम सूरः असूतमा. आज से हिरण्यकशिपु ने प्रहलाद को मारने का प्रयास किया. कैसे? दिग्गजे.
Since today Hiranyakashipu started to kill Prahlad Maharaj, he tried to crush Prahlad under the feet of elephant. He kept him in a cave filled with poisonous snakes. His Prahlad Maharaj Guru created Kritya to kill him. He was thrown from the mountain. They used all the potencies of Maya Devi. They poisoned his food. He was left in the cold mountains and in the water. He was kept under the water. And once he was thrown in water, after that, so many mountains were put above it. But after so much effort, Prahlad didn't die. So since today Prahlad ji was getting saved by the efforts of Hiranyakashipu to kill him. So on the 8th day, Hiranyakashipu's sister Holika came and said that you give me this opportunity. I have a benediction that fire cannot burn me. So if I sit in the fire along with Prahlad, I have a benediction, I can be saved, but he will die. So this yajna or this fire was started, But the history holds that although she had a benediction, but yet Holika died and Prahlad Maharaj was saved. Because principle of the scriptures mentions, if you envy the Lord or the devotee of the Lord, then the nectar can become poisonous. Even the everybody turns everything turns upside down. So she used her benediction to kill a devotee of the Lord, and she was killed in the process. So since that day, the holy Dahan is done, and on the day of Holi, the colors of festival Holi is celebrated in the victory of Prahlad Maharaj. So I congratulate you all. So let's proceed towards Bhramar Geet. Let's do Sankirtana with mellows for 5-10 minutes and then proceed. On the 7th day of this Katha, I welcome you all once again, and our humble obeisance is at your lotus feet. Radhe Shyam.
Shrimad Bhagavat Bhramar Geet.
So the topic is the humming of the honeybee, or the song of the honeybee. So today is the last or the 7th day. At this point of time, I remember Panbai, Gujarat.
देखते देखते 7 दिन बीत गए.
7 days have passed like few minutes. I think that it started yesterday. I was giving the introduction. And the moment of happiness or ecstasy, they pass very easily and very fast. Even you might be feeling that it just started and now it's on the verge of an end or conclusion. So today, Srimati Radharani is telling the honeybee the same thing here in this verse.
मोहिनीम पाययित्वा सकृत अधर सुधाम स्वाम मोहिनीम पाययित्वा सुमनस इव सद्य त्यजेयस्मान् भवाद्रे परिचरति कथं तत् पादपद्मं नुपद्मा परिचर कथं त्वत् पादपद्मं नुपद्मा यपिबत ऋतचेता उत्तम श्लोक जल्पे यपिबत ऋतचेता उत्तम श्लोक जल्पे. श्रीमती राधा रानी
tells that honeybee
ये तेरे कपटी मित्र
that your deceitful friend Krishna, he just gave little nectar of his lips and immediately he left us. Does a lover do that?
अब यहाँ पर बहुत सुंदर बात कहते हैं.
Here it is beautifully described that
मानो भ्रमर पूछे
if the
कि चलिए
honeybee
बाद
asks,
की बात तो बाद में करते हैं राधा जी.
let's talk about the later things
वो जो
later,
अधर सुधा
but
थोड़ी तो आपने पी है.
whatever
वो
little
कैसी
you
लग रही
drank,
है, मतलब वो कैसी है.
how was it?
तो किशोरी जी कहती हैं सकृत
So
मधुर
Kishori ji
सुधाम
says,
स्वाम मोहिनीम.
and she answers,
मोहिनी मधुर सुधाम.
it is intoxicating.
अर्थ क्या है?
So the meaning of Mohini, we have to go to get the interpretation from Acharyas. Our Acharyas mention
दुरंतम स्व विषय लालसा संपादिनीम. ये जो मूल श्लोक में मोहिनी
so
शब्द है,
in the
उस मोहिनी
primary
का
verse,
अर्थ नीचे
Mohini
आचार्य ने बताया.
is explained in the
कृष्ण
verse
की
below.
अधर सुधा.
It
कृष्ण की
says
अधर ओष्ठ की जो
that
अमृत जो अधर सुधा
the
है,
nectar
वो
of
कैसी है? राधा
the
जी ने
lips
कहा
of
मोहिनी है.
Lord Shri Krishna,
लेकिन मोहिनी
Radhaji
का
says
मतलब
is Mohini.
आपको पता
But
है
what is the
मोहिनी
meaning of the
हमारे
word
यहाँ क्या
Mohini
है?
here? So let's
आचार्य ने क्या कहा?
go and take the shelter of Acharyas, and he
थोड़ा सा
says,
दुर्भाग्य तो ये रहा
we have been
कि
very
श्रील
unfortunate
प्रभुपाद यहाँ
little
तक पहुंच
that
नहीं पाए.
even
श्रील
Srila
प्रभुपाद
Prabhupada
जी ने
could not
भागवत का अनुवाद किया,
cover till
लेकिन
here.
प्रभुपाद जी ने भागवत
He
का अनुवाद
he
श्रीमद्
translated the
भागवतम
Shrimad
के
Bhagavatam,
दशम स्कंद के नवम अध्याय
but
तक ही
he
किया.
completed till only the 10th
वो
canto,
दशम
9th
स्कंद के
chapter.
नवम अध्याय के बाद श्रील
After
प्रभुपाद
that,
जी ने कहा
Srila
कि
Prabhupada ji
समय नहीं
said,
था ना, बहुत
as he
काम था.
was devoid of time, he had so
तो
much to
उन्होंने
do.
वहां कहा कि अब आगे दरवाजा मैंने खोल दिया है,
He said that I
खिड़की
have
तो खोल ही लोगे.
opened the
मेरी
doors, now
बुद्धि
you
अगर
can
खोली है
open
तो
the
मैं
windows.
दरवाजा खोल देता हूँ.
Even I am
बाकी
trying to
नहीं
do
तो
the
बाद में
same.
खिड़की तो आप अपने आप से खोल ही लेते हैं ना, इसके अर्थ और आस्वादन. तो शिल प्रभुपाद जी ने कहा कि दरवाजा खोल दिया है. अब श्रीपाद सनातन गोस्वामी, जीव गोस्वामी, रूप गोस्वामी, इन
So
आचार्यों
now
की टीकाओं
we
से
can get the interpretations of Srila Sanatan Goswami, Rup Goswami, and understand it better.
और वही हम कर रहे हैं.
And that is what we are doing here.
कृष्ण की अधर सुधा कैसी है? मोहिनी. मोहिनी
So
का
how
मतलब
is
कहते
the
हैं
nectar of
दुरंताम
lips of Krishna?
स्व
It is
विषय
Mohini.
लालसा
And what is the meaning of Mohini here?
ये कृष्ण की अधर सुधा जो है,
The nectar of his
स्व
lips,
विषयिणी. स्व विषय माने
Swaya
कृष्ण के
Vishileni.
प्रति
That means
लालसा जन्माने वाली है.
it attracts
मतलब
our
इसका अर्थ
desire
क्या हुआ जानते हैं? कृष्ण की अधर
towards
सुधा का पान
Krishna.
जिसने किया,
So a
वो
person
जितना
who
पान
has
करेगा उतना वो
relished
कृष्ण के प्रति
the taste
लालसा
of
और
Krishna,
बढ़ेगी.
the more he tastes, the more
दुरंतम स्व
greedy
विषय लालसा
they
संपादिनीम.
become.
अपनी और लालसा और बढ़ाने वाली, और बढ़ाने वाली. इसका अर्थ ये बनता है,
So
यदि
this
कोई
means
व्यक्ति एक बार
that if
भक्तों
even
जी
if someone
जैसे
for
तैसे
one
कृष्ण
time
से संबंध जोड़ ले,
somehow establish a relationship with Lord Shri
फिर उस
Krishna,
व्यक्ति के लिए कृष्ण को छोड़ना
then
असंभव हो जाता है.
he cannot leave Krishna forever.
कितना भी बड़ा तत्व ज्ञानी क्यों न हो, ब्रह्मनिष्ठ क्यों
Even
न हो,
no
यदि
matter how
वो
much
कृष्ण
knowledgeable he might be,
वास्तव
like
में
Shukdev
हृदय में
Goswami,
वास
it was
क्यों न
said that
हो,
he was a
ये कृष्ण की अधर सुधा पान कर ले
person
तो उसे
engaged in
उसका
Brahman.
दर्शन हो जाता है.
But once
यानी
we
आप
hear
अधर
about
सुधा
Lord
का
Shri
भी
Krishna,
एक दिव्य अर्थ है
then we get
जिसकी
attracted to
पहुंच
him.
यहाँ तक की पहुंच हमारी नहीं है. इसलिए भागवत का सहारा लेकर कृष्ण की अधर सुधा का
So
एक अर्थ
let's
होता है
take the
कृष्ण की
shelter
बांसुरी
of
की आवाज.
the Shrimad Bhagavatam and
और
understand
एक
this
अर्थ कहूं,
nectar
कृष्ण
of
की अधर
Krishna's
सुधा
lips
का
is
अर्थ है कृष्ण की
flute,
कथा, कृष्ण
and
की
the
लीला.
other is
ये कृष्ण
glories
लीला,
of Lord Shri Krishna,
कृष्ण
his
नाम,
pastimes and
ये उनकी
proclivities.
अधर सुधा है.
All are his
और ये कृष्ण कथा,
nectar.
कृष्ण नाम कैसा है? मोहिनीम.
And what is his name?
सकृत अधर सुधा को
Mohinim.
अधर सुधा के बदले कृष्ण कथा डाल दो तो
So if we
सकृत
put
कथाम
Krishna
स्वविषयिणीम
Katha,
पाययित्वा, यदि कोई थोड़ी भी कृष्ण कथा
even if
सुन ले
someone listens a little
तो वो
of Hari
जितना भी
Katha,
सुना है ना वो ज्यादा
then
सुनने के लिए मजबूर करेगा. फिर
it
सुनेगा तो और
makes
ज्यादा, और
us
ज्यादा, और
greedy to listen more and more and more. And this, so this nectar that flows in the holy names, the pastimes, the nature is that it will increase our greed towards to get more. And what happens in the material world? The more you get a material thing, gradually your desire to get those things reduced. As we have an example, like a person likes rasgulla, a sweet dish, then you will eat 2, 3, 4, 5, or 10. The pleasure that you got in eating the first one, will you achieve the same pleasure in eating the 10th? It will be there, but it will not be as the pleasure was in the first. So gradually the taste reduces. If we eat 25 or 50, then we will vomit it. We'll not eat even for one more year or so. Because the world is limited and destructible. But in the case of Lord, his, his nectar of his lips, his names, or his katha are not diminishable like the material things. But it is exact opposite. The more we take or do or listen, the more we are attracted towards it. You know how many days the katha was performed in Naimisharanya? Shukdev ji gave lecture for 7 days, but Naimisharanya they heard for 10,000 years the pastimes of the Lord. They discussed all the Puranas and everywhere. So first Romaharshan were speaking, and after their son, and continuously they were listening, and the listeners were the same. The orator changed. And after 10,000 years of experience, what the Munis have concluded, it's mentioned in the below screen.
उत्तम श्लोक विक्रमे यत शृण्वतां रसज्ञाना यत शृण्वतां रसज्ञाना स्वादु स्वादु पदे पदे स्वादु स्वादु पदे पदे वयम तू न वितृप्याम। शौनक आदि ऋषि मुनियों ने हजार हजार वर्षों तक भगवत कथा का श्रवण किया और श्रवण करने के बाद
the sages of Naimisharanya heard for 10,000 years the pastimes of the Lord, and what did he give? So we are defining the word Mohini in the above screen. They, the sages have said that the more we listen, the more we get attracted or interested in listening more. That is, the proof is there in the below verse. Naimisharanya, in Naimisharanya, the sages say their experience that we all, there is no doubt, nishchit. We are still not satisfied. Vitrupta means wish, specially. So they say that after thousands of years of listening, we have not been satisfied. So people were saying that during the COVID times, this will not happen. Madhusudan Prabhu was anxious that you will have to go here and there. And so that is the experience that you might be satisfied. But what about me? Even I don't get satisfied. Even in 2 days without the katha, it becomes very tough for me. But if you take gap, then only people value it. People say that just 300 and 350 kathas have started. That we have just started. We are just doing right now the Banglacharan. We're not satisfied. The orators kept on speaking and listeners kept on listening, but nobody got fully satisfied.
उस रस को बढ़ाने वाली है तो ऋषि मुनियों ने अपना अनुभव कहा वयम तू न
So the sages say that Lord Shri Krishna's pastimes, after listening, we are not yet satisfied completely. We are relishing the taste and we are relishing it so much that the more we listen, the more we turn greedy to listen more. So the pleasure or ras diminishes for a sweet, but here it is exact opposite. It keeps on increasing. This is the effect of the pastimes of the Lord. That is the result of devotional service towards the Lord. That is why a devotee becomes intoxicated. Even if he wants to leave, he cannot leave. And even if you use your mind and try to leave it, but you feel that, oh my God, so much has been left. The glory is that of whom? This is the glory of Lord Shri Krishna, and his nature, his pastimes are so like that, his devotion is like that. And remember, and somebody who has relished the pastimes of the Lord, it may be happen that they might get entangled in the material world, but today, if not today, then later he will come back as he has already drank it, because he is aware that there is no pleasure beyond the pleasure of the glories of the Lord. So there is one more important word here.
Sudam swam mohinim payitva sakrit adhar sudam vam मोहिनीम पायितवा। श्रीमती राधा रानी कहती हैं कि इस
Srimati Radharani say that this intoxicated nectar of the Lord's lip, payitva, according to the Sanskrit language, it means that Krishna has forcefully he made us to drink. It was not that we used our brain and we got intoxicated. And we will listen to the Lord's pastimes by our own endeavor. But it is not like that. Krishna has made us drink it. This is very subtle thing. It is the difference of earth, of day and night. So there is a difference between drinking on your own and drinking on someone else's behest. So she says that we have not drunk on our free will, but on behest of Krishna. Krishna has forcefully made us drink it. So the pure devotional service towards the Lord, how can we get it on our own endeavor or pursuit? We are not capable of doing it. Even if we try to drink the nectar of mango, after a few days we will get upset stomach. So what about the talk or the nectar of Krishna's pastimes? So bhakti or pure devotional service towards the Lord is only by the Lord's will. If we think that, including me, if we think that if I am doing on our own, it is not right. Krishna selects a person who is elected in India, they will reach to Delhi, and in US, this person sits in DC, Washington. And when Krishna selects, then they will sit in the Bhagvatam Katha. So Krishna himself selects them. This all happens at the mercy of the Lord. If the host think that I have organized this Katha, no, it was all by the inspiration of the Lord. If I say that uh, if I think that I am wise and I can do the Katha, it's not possible. Whatever is happening because of the Lord's mercy. This is true. It's not my humility, but that is the truth. So, what we all are sitting together and listening. We sit here for hours. People don't even bother to give time for 2 minutes to their family members.
वो लोग आज घंटों भर एक स्थान पर बैठे हैं, ये हमारी बात है? नहीं.
So is it on our own pursuit? No. He is inspiring us. Krishna is making all this happen.
अब इसमें से निकालेंगे तो कितनी सारी बातें निकल सकती है. सकृत अधर सुदाम स्वाम मोहिनीम पाययित्वा. आप समझ रहे हैं ये बात को? आप समझते हो ना, तो ऐसे ऐसे मुंडी थोड़ी हिलाते रहिए तो मैं थोड़ा आगे बढ़ूं. नहीं तो फिर मैं उसी वहीं पर अटक जाता हूँ. આપણે ત્યાં ઓલી કેસર ઘૂંચવાઈ ન જતી, આપણે ઓલી ગોળ 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 ગુણ 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 ગુણ.
If you shake your head, then I will be aware that you are understanding. Otherwise, my tape will get stuck in explaining it further.
कृष्ण के द्वारा पिलाया जाता है. अच्छा, तो आपको थोड़ा प्रैक्टिकल जानना है.
So if you want to have a practical, then we are listening the pastimes of the Lord and we are relishing the taste. In Bhagvat Gita, Krishna says straightforward,
हृददेशे अर्जुन तिष्ठति भ्रामयान सर्वभूतानि यंत्रारूढ़ानि मायया। क्या ठेठ गोडाउन में पढ़ो तो आ श्लोक सबको लगभग याद था, लेकिन गोडाउन में पढ़ा था, वहां से बाहर निकला आज बिल्कुल दुकान में रखा। याद श्लोक सबको याद है, मुझे पता है, क्योंकि आप गीता का
Everybody remembers this verse from Bhagvat Gita. Coming on the relevant time is Lord's mercy. So Krishna made us drink. So this relishing of the pure devotional service towards the Lord is by inspiration of the Lord and His mercy. And how does He give us this nectar? He answers to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. He says, in the heart of every person, the Lord resides in everybody's heart. Sometimes people ask, where do the heart, where does the Lord reside? So He resides in the heart. The heart is pumping because of the Lord. So He lives in the heart of every individual living or living entity. And what does He do? He gives inspiration to every living entity. So now the control is in Lord's hand to inspire. And how does He achieves that? As a puppet is made to dance on the tunes of its master, similarly, Lord Krishna inspires every living entity, and that is why. And now there is one more point here. Sarva Bhutanam, that the Lord resides in everybody's heart. Then why He inspires only a few, not everyone? So all these people who are there in all the screens, who are sitting in front of me, so why He has chosen them and not He's chosen everyone? The Lord gives the nectar of His pastimes or pure devotional service to only person who has some good deeds in his account. Then only the Lord inspires them to chant the holy names or to listen the proclivities of the Lord or perform pure devotional service towards the Lord. He is residing in everybody's heart, but He inspires only the few who have good karma in their account or sukriti. So this is mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana in the second canto, first chapter, 11th verse. Valmiki Rishi writes in the below screen,
कृतेन केन तुष्यति न स्मरत पकाराणां शतं प्यात्मवत्तया। यदि किसी व्यक्ति ने अपने इस जीवन में या पूर्व
someone in his this birth or previous birth have done some good deeds. So what is the meaning of sukriti? Intentionally or unintentionally serving the Lord or His devotees is equivalent to sukriti or good deeds done are performed in service of the Lord or his devotees. So probably, maybe in this life or past life, we have done some service towards the Lord or his devotees and satisfied the devotees or the Lord. Then even the little feat that we have achieved, the Lord never forgets. But whatever sins we do, the Lord forgets. Putna did so much, but Krishna forgave and forgot. But if someone does even little pure devotional service towards the Lord or his devotees, then he never forgets that. Even if we do some sin, then it doesn't stays there in the Lord's heart. Rahati na means it doesn't remains there. Surat means the good deeds or service towards the Lord or his devotees. Then he remembers multiplying by 100. Imagine how much merciful he is. This is with the proof. If we miss something or we do something wrong, he never keeps in his heart. But even if we do a small service, he multiplies it by 100 and keeps in his heart. A small a small child, when puts some amount in his piggy bank, so the parent adds more. The similar principle is done by Lord. That is why it is said that if we walk one step towards him, he walks 100 times towards us.
कि ये कृष्ण भक्ति रस, कृष्ण कथा रस भगवान की प्रेरणा से हम ग्रहण करते हैं.
So we are relishing this nectar of the pastimes of the Lord by his mercy. And this is accepted by Srimati Radharani. So he gave us the nectar of his lips. And then immediately he bereft us. And how he did it? Like you do. Bhavadrik means like you, or similarly like you. So, Suman means flower, as I discussed yesterday. As the bee discards the flower, similarly the Lord has left us. This is what I have explained yesterday. There is another meaning which is interpreted by the Acharyas like this. So one meaning is flower, like the bee discards. There is another meaning.
सुमन माने फूल होता है सीधा. फिर उसकी संधि विच्छेद करे तो सु अलग कर दो.
If we break it, su and mana, so that equates to beautiful heart. That means who have beautiful heart, like demigods, brahmanas, devotees. So the first meaning is flower. A beautiful flower is called suman. where there is a beautiful flower, the bee is far away, but yet he gets knowledge that there is a beautiful flower there, and he flies and sits on that flower.
अच्छा, तो यहाँ पर सुमन का अर्थ कहते हैं, ये तो हो गया फूल, जैसे फूल अच्छा फूल होता है तो भंवरा दूर से आता है और उसे लेता है, तो सुमन इव का दूसरा अर्थ है जिसका सुंदर मन है, सुमन सुंदर मन.
The other meaning is a person who has beautiful heart and who has this beautiful heart, the knowledgeable, the brahmanas, the demigods, and the devotees who are engaged in love, being service towards the Lord. So, a devotee who is always engrossed in the pastimes of the Lord, so the Lord gets to know that people with beautiful heart are residing in Charlotte or Washington DC, etc. Because he's a friend of deceitful. Similarly, like the honeybee, even Krishna gets awareness that there are persons with beautiful heart. And as the bee goes to that flower, similarly, the Lord manifests in front of the person with the beautiful heart, and he gives them his experience, and they're able to see or feel him around them. So this is how Srimati Radharani is saying about herself, and we can connect with our life. So she adds further, as you discard the flower, similarly, Sadyasta Jai Asman, in the second line, third word, he has discarded us.
वैसे कृष्ण ने हमको तुरंत त्याग दिया. इस बात को ध्यान से पहले पॉइंट समझ लीजिए. संस्कृत शब्द पकड़ में आ गया. दूसरी लाइन में लिखा है ना, सद्य त्यजेत असमान. केवल इतने शब्द पर हमें समझना है कि तेरे बंधु ने,
you discard the flower, similarly Krishna has discarded us.
असमान हमको त्यजेत त्याग दिया.
So this means immediately. And if I tell you, did Krishna discarded Srimati Radharani or the gopis immediately? Radharani is claiming that
पक्ष में हम और हम कहे कि राधा जी आप कहती हो, किशोरी जी आप कहती हो कि तुरंत त्याग दिया. तुरंत कैसे त्यागा? कृष्ण 11.5 वर्ष तक ब्रज में रहे, जगत विदित, सब लोग जानते हैं. तो 11.5 वर्ष कम नहीं होता. और 11.5 वर्ष में भी करते क्या थे? गोपियों से मिलने के अलावा होता ही क्या था? बचपन से ही कृष्ण गोपियों से मिलना, बचपन से ही गोपियों के घर जाकर चोरी करना, मिलना, बातें करना, जल्प करना, तो ज्यादा टाइम तो उन्हीं के साथ बिताते थे. तो बारंबार और फिर गोपियों में भी राधा रानी के साथ यमुना तीर वनचारी होता था. अब इतना 11.5 वर्ष तक रहना, गोपियों के साथ बचपन से ही मिलना जुलना, और ऊपर से राधा रानी के साथ घंटों भर समय बिताना. और राधा जो यहाँ पर कहती कि सद्य त्यजेत, हमको तुरंत त्याग दिया. तो किशोरी जी झूठ बोल रही है क्या? बहुत सुंदर. ये वास्तव में मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ पारुल माता को. ये 7 दिन आपको आनंद आया न आया, मुझे अकेले अकेले बड़ी हंसी आती थी, आनंद आता था कि क्या क्या बात है. और मैं भी आचार्यों ने जो लिखा है वो सब कहाँ बोल पाता हूँ। इस बुद्धि में सब पढ़ता हूँ तो होता है कि मैं बोल दूंगा उस समय, लेकिन कभी याद आता है, नहीं आता है? लेकिन जो भी याद आया, जो भी प्रसाद मिला, तो 11.5 वर्ष का समय कम नहीं होता, पहला पॉइंट। और कृष्ण सबसे ज्यादा राधा रानी से मिले और जो भी चर्चा बातें गुह्य लीला हुई, फिर भी राधा जी कहती हैं कि सद्य त्यजेत। पॉइंट समझ गए आप? ठीक है, ओके। अब इस बात को हम समझे, क्या राधा रानी झूठ बोल रही है? भागवत झूठ तो हो नहीं सकता और राधा रानी झूठ नहीं हो सकती, लेकिन इसको हमें समझना है कैसे। जैसे मैंने कथा के प्रारंभ में कहा था, जोतरे जोतामा दिवसो वीती रे गया पानबाई। होता क्या है?
So what happens? We all have one experience in our life. The moments of sadness or distress don't pass easily. But the moments of happiness pass immediately. It is mentioned in Ramayana that when Ramji was born in the home of Dashrath ji, they celebrated for 1 month his birth. But people were thinking only 2-3 hours have passed. Nobody did anything else, just celebrating the birth of Lord Sri Ram. And similarly, it happened at the birth of Lord Sri Krishna. The moments of happiness are temporary, and the moments of sadness, even if it's for some time, it feels as if eternity. So we have to understand what she's saying here, that he left us immediately. But Krishna resided for so much time with Srimati Radharani. So we need to understand that the moment of pleasure we feel was very less. There is some feeling of unsatisfaction. And where is this true ecstasy that is only in the names, pastimes, forms of the Lord? And this is not what I say, it is mentioned in Upanishad. So the meaning of Krishna's name itself, Krishna means Krish plus Ana. So the word Krish means is like earth, it produces, it is the generator. So Krishi is like earth, he generates. And Ana, Nivriti means happiness. So who produces ecstasy and pleasure day and night, his name is Krishna. That is why he's called Krishna. So he himself is the epitome of happiness. So everything that belongs to Krishna is ecstatic, and even a long time as it gives pleasure appears to be small or very less. So Vallabhacharya says,
Vadanam madhuram nayanam madhuram hasitam madhuram hridayam madhuram गमनम मधुरम मधुराधिपते अखिलम मधुरम। लेવું છે? आपने भजन तो सुना होगा, इसका अर्थ करते चलूं, इसका मीनिंग बताते चलूं।
Let me tell you the meaning of this bhajan by Vallabh Acharya. So we are discussing about the Adhar Sudha, or the nectar of the Lord's love. Govind TV has used every part of technology for providing all these facilities. So Vallabh Acharya says that his lips are sweet, his speech or his mouth is sweet, his eyes, his smile, his way of walking. So the best walk is of elephant. Sorry. Krishna's way of walking is beautiful or sweet. And further he says,
Maduram charitam maduram vasanam maduram valitam maduram chalitam maduram brahmitam maduram maduradipate akhilam maduram। कृष्ण के वचन मधुर है।
He says that his speech is beautiful.
चरितम मधुरम, कृष्ण के चरित्र मधुर है।
His
वसनम मधुरम, कृष्ण
nature is sweet. His clothes are beautiful. Valitam means his bracelet is beautiful. His roaming is beautiful.
रेणु मधुरो पाणी मधुरो पादो मधुरो नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरं मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरम। वेणु मधुर है। वल्लभाचार्य कहते हैं,
Vallabhacharya says his flute is beautiful or sweet. His dust of the lotus feet is sweet. So we can ask Madhusudan Prabhu how sweet is Renu Mata because his wife is Renu. So it means the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord, his flute, the dust of his lotus feet, his hands, pani means his feet, that is pado, his dancing nrityam, and his friendship is sweet. And he is the Lord of everything sweet.
मधुरम भुक्तम मधुरम सुप्तम मधुरम रूपम मधुरम तिलकम मधुरम मधुराधिपते अखिलम मधुरम। जिग्नेश भाई टीवी माथी बारा नो आवता तमे वो फॉन्ट छोटे हैं ना, इसलिए ऐसे नजदीक से देख, मतलब अभी बाहर आ जाएंगे क्योंकि ये सब बहुत निकट बैठे हैं। तो गीतम मधुरम, कृष्ण का जो गीत है,
so the songs of the Lord are sweet. His devotees, no, his clothes is sweet. His food is sweet. Even if he's sleeping, that also is beautiful. His beauty, his tilak, everything is beautiful or sweet for Lord. His work are sweet. His liberating the devotees, the style with which he liberates is also sweet. When he takes away the distress of devotees, that is also beautiful.
कृष्ण के शादी हुई, रुक्मणी के पिता मर गए, तो रुक्मणी तो रोती, स्वाभाविक बाप मर गए।
Rukmani ji was crying when his father died, and Krishna was crying more. So Krishna is getting pacified by Rukmani ji. Vamitam Maduram. So his Udgar are beautiful. His being peaceful is also sweet. The garlands that he wears, that is sweet. The river Yamuna is beautiful. And the waves of Yamuna ji, Vichi, is also sweet. Her water is also sweet. The lotus flowers of Yamuna ji are also sweet. The eternal associates of the Lord, the gopis, are also sweet. His pastimes, his togetherness with us is also beautiful, and his separation is also beautiful. That is why we are listening to this pastime since last 7 days. His sing is beautiful. His mannerisms are also sweet. His friends are sweet. His cows are sweet. The bamboo stick that he carries is also beautiful. His creation, this universe, is also sweet. His destruction of this universe is also beautiful. As he is the Lord of sweetness, everything that belongs to him is beautiful. And that is why Lord Sri Krishna, when we listen to his pastimes and chant his name, because everything is pleasurable, that is why the moment, no matter how long it might be, but we still feel it is less. Vedvyas ji mentions this philosophy. He says in the verse below that this Lord Sri Krishna is like the lotus flower. He is beautiful like the lotus flower. He is completely beautiful still. If some person who doesn't perform devotional service towards the Lord, then Vedvyas ji says that very strictly, he says then he is as good as dead. We should consider him dead. Although he might look alive, but he is dead. Because although Krishna is so sweet, and if still we don't perform pure devotional service towards him, then we are dead or equivalent to dead. And we should not talk to such person. We should not discuss with him. We should not associate with such people.
इतने मधुर भगवान श्री कृष्ण का भजन कोई करता है ना तो बहुत
So if somebody performs pure devotional service towards the Lord, then this even the long moment appears as small.
तो क्योंकि कृष्ण
So
मधुर
Radharani says that immediately he left us
सुखमयी है इसलिए बहुत
because the time spent with him is sweet. That is why even a long duration appears to be small. It is mentioned in one of the scriptures
इव निमज्जा अमृतमये ददत्यन नस्तत्वम किमपि यन्मित किल भवान भगवान जो प्राणी अंतर्मुख होकर
the living entity who
अनंत अखंड
becomes peaceful and internally
भगवान श्री कृष्ण
meditates on Par Brahman
लगता है
and relishes the
उस व्यक्ति
Lord,
यस्मिन तत्किल भवान उस व्यक्ति को
that person,
दीर्घ काल बहुत बड़ा काल भी
the
अल्प
long time spent appears to be very small.
इसी बात को श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने
And this is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said in the Bhava or Mellow of Srimati Radharani. He says,
चक्षुषा प्रावुषायितं शून्यायितं जगत् सर्वं गोविंद विरहेण में हे गोविंद हे कृष्ण कृष्ण तुम्हारे साथ जब हम थे
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that when we are with you,
तो बहुत बड़ी पल
then even long duration we feel so less
लेकिन कृष्ण
or very little.
तुम्हारे विरह में
But
बीता हुआ एक पल
the
को एक युग के समान लग रहा है
moment in separation with you appears to be as long as a yuga.
युगायितम निमिषेण चक्षुषा प्रावुषायितम आपके विरह में एक
And in your separation, one moment
समान प्रतीत
appears to be as long as yuga
आप हमारे पास
because you're not with us.
व्रजेन्द्र कुल दुग्ध सिंधु कृष्णता है पूर्ण इंदु जन्मी केल जगत उजायार क्षणेक जहार मुख ना देखिले फाटे बुक शीघ्र देखावो न रहे जीवन शीघ्र देखावो न रहे जीवन चैतन्य महाप्रभु
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his last days when he was in Jagannath Puri and when he was in separation with the Lord and he was in the stage of the Mahabhava, he says,
कृष्ण कौन है
he says, who is this Krishna? He is the king of Braj.
दूध रूपी सिंधु का एक
He
इंदु
is
एक
the
चंद्रमा के
drop
समान है।
of, he is like the moon
ब्रजकुल जो है
of
समुद्र
the
के समान है और
sea
कृष्ण
of
उस समुद्र के ऊपर प्रकट होने वाले
Braja,
चंद्रमा के समान है और प्रकट होकर जन्मी केल
and
जगत
after
उजाड़
manifesting,
और उस कृष्ण ने उस ब्रज में प्रकट होकर जगत को
he
उजागर किया। लेकिन क्षणिक जहार
effort,
बिना
he
देखे
shown the
ये बंगला शब्द है।
whole world.
बंगला में बुक का अर्थ होता है हृदय।
In Bangla, book means heart.
उस कृष्ण को एक क्षण भी यदि न देखूं तो मेरा हृदय
And
फट जाता
if I
है।
don't even see
मेरा
him
हृदय
for a
फट जाता
moment,
है।
my
शुक्र
heart
देखा
breaks
गुरु
and
दामोदर
shatters.
उस कृष्ण को मुझे जल्दी दिखाओ। रामायण
I
मुझे
want
जल्दी
to
उस
see
कृष्ण
him
को दिखाओ क्योंकि न रहे
immediately,
जीवन उस कृष्ण के बिना मेरा जीवन नहीं
because
रहेगा।
without
ये
him,
जीवन नहीं
my
रहेगा।
life cannot
ये
survive.
अवस्था लानी है।
This is
तो
what our goal
इस
is to
स्थिति में
achieve.
हम और आप जब तक नहीं पहुंचेंगे कृष्ण
Till
का
the
दर्शन
time we
नहीं
reach
होगा।
that
ये
stage,
तो नए
we
लोगों
won't
को
be
कहने
able
की
to
बात
achieve
होती
the
है
Lord.
कि थोड़ा नाम लीजिए कथा सुनिए, ये तो है, लेकिन
This
जब
is,
तक ये अवस्था
it
पर
tell
हम
the
नहीं
new
पहुंचेंगे
people
भगवान नहीं मिलने
that if
वाले।
you just chant little, you will
जब
achieve
तक
everything.
हृदय
But
में छल
until
छलावा
unless we
है,
reach this point,
जैसे मछली पानी
until
में
unless our
तड़प
heart
रही
is
है,
overwhelmed with love,
कृष्ण के
as the
बिना जब तक
fish
ये तड़पन प्रकट नहीं होगी वो कृष्ण प्राप्त नहीं होंगे।
devoid of
तो गोकुल
water
प्रेम की ध्वजा श्री
is
चैतन्य महाप्रभु
distress.
हमारे लिए आदर्श, हमें भजन
So
करने
Chaitanya
का
Mahaprabhu
आदर्श
is our idol and we should follow
सब कुल
him.
मिलाकर
So
श्रीमती राधा रानी के इस श्लोक को, इस बात को
Srimati Radharani, this
हमको
verse
तुरंत त्याग दिया।
that
इन
he
7
left
वाक्यों
us
का सार यही
immediately,
है कि राधा रानी
the
हो
conclusion is that
या
that
संसार के कोई शुद्ध भक्त हो,
Srimati Radharani
ये
or
भगवान के
any other
दर्शन से
devotee of the
तृप्त
Lord
नहीं
in this
होंगे।
material world, they are never
कितना भी
satisfied by
दर्शन संग
the
सानिध्य मिले
version,
तृप्त नहीं होते,
darshan or
उसे वह संग बहुत कम
association of the
महसूस
Lord.
होता है। तो यहाँ मूल
They
श्लोक
feel
में
that it is less.
राधा जी कहती हैं कि कृष्ण ने तुरंत
In the
त्याग दिया,
fundamental
उसे
verse,
तुरंत
Srimati
मिलना
Radharani
नहीं
said,
था।
he left us
लेकिन
immediately,
भक्तों का ये
although it was
स्वभाव
not immediately.
होता है,
But
बहुत बड़े
the
भाव रखते
devotees
हैं।
are greedy to
कथा
get
का समय हो
more
चुका है,
from the
10 से
Lord.
15 मिनट ज्यादा हो
So the
चुका है,
time for
लेकिन
the
एक भी
katha
व्यक्ति
is
को ऐसा नहीं
already
लग रहा हो
almost over.
कि कथा
But
बंद हो जाए।
nobody is thinking
जब
that
हम और
this
आपको
katha
अपनी
should
कथा
stop.
छोड़ने का मन नहीं हो रहा है,
When we
तो
don't want to leave the
कृष्ण को
pastimes of the
छोड़ने
Lord,
का मन कैसे
then
होगा?
how can
कम नहीं
Srimati
यहाँ तो
Radharani
कई
leave
घंटे
Lord
से
Shri
बैठे हैं
Krishna?
और हरिनाम वाले तो पिछले 5 घंटे से बैठे हैं, कम नहीं बैठे हैं, लेकिन फिर
People are
भी
sitting since 3
बहुत
to 5
बहुत
hours,
कम है। ये
but still
अतृप्ति
we feel that
भक्ति
this
का
is less.
स्वभाव, ये श्याम सुंदर का स्वभाव है,
This
ये भगवान की
unsatisfaction
भक्ति
is the sign of
जिसमें
our
अतृप्ति
bhakti
बनी
towards the
रहती
Lord.
है। अब 2 लाइन बाकी है, उसे मैं पूर्ण करूं। मानो
Let me
है
conclude with last 2 lines. If
कि आप
the
कहते
honey
हो
bee says
कि
that
मैं और
you
कृष्ण
say
दोनों कपटी हैं
we both are
और हमारा
deceitful
स्वभाव अच्छा नहीं है,
and our nature is not very
हमने
good,
कपट किया है,
we have cheated.
तो जैसे कल कहा था,
As I said
मैंने तो
yesterday,
आपसे कपट किया, आप भोली थी,
then
आपको ठग लिया,
I cheated you
लेकिन लक्ष्मी जी तो भोली नहीं,
as you are simpleton.
लक्ष्मी
Krishna
जी में
cheated you,
कितना
but
कपट है,
Lakshmi ji is
जिसके पाकिट में
epitome
पैसा
of
होता है उसमें
wisdom.
कितना कपट होता है, मतलब दिमाग चलता होगा तभी तो पाकिट में आती है। तो लक्ष्मी जी में तो वो तो चंचला और चपला, बिल्कुल चपल है लक्ष्मी।
She is
तो
the
लक्ष्मी जी
wisest
ने
of
कल तो
all,
सुना ना, सबको
and
छोड़
we
छाड़ कर
learned
कृष्ण का ही
yesterday
वर्ण किया।
that she left
यदि कृष्ण में
everyone and
मतलब
chose
कपटता
Krishna.
होती, गलती होती, तो
If
लक्ष्मी जी कृष्ण
Krishna
को
was
क्यों
deceitful,
जानते?
then why will
तब श्रीमती
she
राधा रानी
choose Krishna? So Srimati Radharani replies,
परिचरति कथम तत् पाद पद्मं नु पद्मा परिचरति कथं तत् पाद पद्मं नु पद्मा यपि बतरित चेता उत्तम श्लोक जल्पे। श्रीमती राधा रानी कहती है,
Srimati Radharani says or replies, I am unable to understand that how Lakshmi ji got entangled in Krishna's talk. Although she is criticizing Krishna, but actually she is glorifying the Lord. Everybody wants the goddess of fortune, but she loves Krishna the most. So if we ask that who is the best person in this earth, everybody thinks that I am the best. So who is the greatest person of all? And who is the greatest woman in this world? When it was asked in Vedas, the answer was the greatest woman on this in this creation is Srimati Lakshmi, because everybody desires her, because she is great. That is why everybody desires her.
तो पूरी दुनिया जिसके पीछे है वही महान होगा। तो स्त्रियों में यदि देखा जाए तो सबसे महान है लक्ष्मी।
So in the world, this world, Lakshmi ji is considered as the greatest, but in the men, the greatest is Purusha Avatar Lord Narayana.
और आश्चर्य की बात है कि सबसे
strangely, the greatest woman leaves everything and to get Lord Shri Krishna is performing austerity in Vrindavan till date. It is mentioned in the opening of Gopi Geet. What does it mean? The greatest woman, she leaves everything and comes to Lord Shri Krishna. Then should not we follow her and follow bhakti? Now the time is less. When Krishna was in Dwarika as the king of Dwarika, a Brahmana's wife, well, she gave birth, the child used to they used to die, and 9 times it happens. And Arjuna was present, and this man was criticizing Krishna. And Arjuna said that when your 10th child will be born, I'll be stay here and protect your child. And if it so happens, then I will kill myself, as I am a Kshatriya. So Arjuna stayed there for 9 months. And on the day when the baby was about to be born, Arjuna he surrounded all the walls with his arrows to protect their son. And the 10th son was born. And the Brahmana said, this 10th was also dead. Now, Arjuna has taken a vow and he was about to kill himself. Lord said that, what are you doing? Krishna said that, wait, You will die.
प्रतिज्ञा ले ली, रुक हम उस
You
बच्चे
have taken the vow.
ट्राई तो करते हैं, उसमें क्या
Let's
होता है हमारा?
try to search this child.
कृष्ण और अर्जुन पार्थ सारथी रथ पर
They
तैयार हो
both
गए और चले दसों बच्चों को खोजने।
went in search of those kids.
सभी लोकों में गए, लोक लोकांतर में भ्रमणे, समुद्र
They
में
went to the 7 worlds.
सब जगह पर गए, कहीं नहीं मिले।
They were unable to find them.
यमराज के पास तो वाया यमराज
He said that whoever dies goes to Yamraj. Let's go there.
सब जगह जाते हुए रात को 12 बजे यमराज के घर पर बेल
At the midnight, they
आंखा छोड़ते हुए लुंगी बुंगी
they woke Yamraj.
यमराज जी ने दरवाजा खोला, कौन? अरे कृष्ण अर्जुन यहाँ क्यों? बोले हमारे 10 लड़के द्वारिका के हो गए,
You have taken the 10 children of Dwarika.
हमारी ये गुस्ताखी, हम ये
He said that no, we cannot dare do that.
को यहाँ लाएंगे, हमारी मौत आई है कि हम ऐसा काम करें, प्रभु हमारे पास नहीं, लेकिन आप आए तो
We don't have those kids. It's great that you are here.
यमराज के पास भी नहीं मिले,
So they were not there. So they were unable to find these kids. The only one place was remaining, that was Vaikunt. They both thought they cannot be in Vaikuntha, but let's check there as well. So they both went to Vaikunt and they saw Lord Narayan. The Lord Narayan stood from his throne and bowed down at the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. And he said, why you're here? He said that 10 children from Dwarika are lost. If you can help us find them. Then Lord Narayan said, don't worry, these children are here enjoying. Those kids were there. Arjun was upset. Krishna said that why these kids are here? Then Lord Narayan said, oh, he said that I have heard so much about you, that you are beautiful and sweet, and your pastimes are sweet. Even my wife, Goddess of Fortune, has left me in Braj. So there might be something in you. Because since last 100 years, she is in Vraja. So here I am, here protecting the world. I cannot leave. So I thought, let me do something so that I can have your darshan. So I bought these kids here. I'm so sorry. So now you can take them. My desire is fulfilled. So they bought the 10 kids back. So the conclusion here is that the best person is Lord Narayan, and the best of women is Srimati Lakshmi, Goddess of Fortune. But even such great man desires Lord Shri Krishna, and even the greatest women desire Lord Shri Krishna. So she came to Braj to attain Lord Shri Krishna. Lakshmi ji is proud. She said that I will not follow the Srimati Radharani, but I will do austerity and achieve Krishna. So if you go, there is a tapasthali in Vrindavan till today. And it is said that till today she is performing austerity to achieve Krishna prema. So the bee says, how can Lakshmi ji be convinced by Lord Shri Krishna? She said, you can ask me. In the 4th line, she answers, so the sweet talk of Lord Shri Krishna buttering the person. He butters people's ego and massages their pride so much that even Lakshmi ji got affected by his speech and started performing austerity to achieve him. So the last word jalpa here means his sweet talk. Sometime we will discuss that. His speech is beautiful. If we go to Braj, there is a Radha Damodar temple. There, one of the deity's name is Radha Chel Chikanya, means a person who butters others, who deceits and convinces others. So Uttam Shloka Jalpe, that from with his sweet talk he convinces others. There's so many proclivities of Raja. When he was 6-7 years old, the gopis were going towards Yamuniji to fetch water, and he grabbed one gopis dupatta and said that yesterday an astrologer said that I will marry you. That is what the astrologer said. And the gopi said that a small child is. He used to say that to every gopi of Raja. And in such sweet talk, he has entangled all of us and the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi ji. So, let's take the practical approach here, that the glories of Lord, his pastimes are such that we get entangled in them. The mind is unstable, but the proclivity is so much that we get fixed or attracted towards it. Even I don't feel like closing, and you all also want to hear more. So, Lakshmi ji lives in the forest of lotus, and she has lotus in her hand, and she loves lotus because Lord loves lotus the most. So, according to the Priti Sandarbh, in this verse, the word prajalp is used. So, what all prajalp are used in this verse from Priti Sandarbh? Here, whatever we discussed yesterday, the four qualities of prajalpa, nirdayata means cruelty. So, where it is mentioned about Lord's cruelty, he left us immediately, means he is stone or cold hearted. And the second, Shathyata, denotes in this verse Mohinim Payayitva. He forcefully gave us the nectar of his lips. And the third element is Chapalta. Where is it? Like the honeybee, he takes the nectar, so is naughty. And their wisdom, Srimati Radharani shows her wisdom that I am aware that why Lakshmi ji got entangled, because I am wise. So this is the fourth element of So he says that we are not entangled, but Lakshmi ji is entangled, but actually she is more entangled.
पहले देखोगे कि प्रेम निर्दयता शाठ चपलता आदि आदि शब्द से
So
अन्य
Adi
शब्द
here,
लेना चाहिए अकृतज्ञता और प्रेम शून्यता So, इस
Akritajnata,
से
Aprem Shunyata means devoid of
श्राद्ध
love
मुनि का उस
and ungratefulness.
चित्र जल्प हो रहा है
So this beautiful Chitra Jalp is performing. I tried a lot,
इस भ्रमर गीत के
but
दो ही श्लोक ले पाया
we could just cover 2 verses of
और
this
ईमानदारी
Bhramar
से
Geet.
आगे पीछे की और
And
कोई बात नहीं
honestly,
केवल श्लोक के मर्म को समझाने का ही टाइम हमने यहाँ पर व्यक्त
we
किया
focused on understanding and interpreting
और वो भी
the
संक्षिप्त में
verses.
केवल
But
जीव गोस्वामी को स्पर्श किया
we just
अब ऐसे 15 आचार्यों
interpreted from
15
Jiva
श्रीपाद
Goswami.
श्रीधर
Although
स्वामी
we have
हैं
15
इनकी
acharyas
इन पर भरूं
who have written about them,
लेकिन इन सब वस्तु को समझने के लिए पहले मूल
but
वस्तु
for
समझनी
that
होगी
we should
जब ये
understand the
वस्तु समझ में
fundamental.
आए तो फिर इनके भाव इनके
Then
रस
only we can understand the
कुल
mellow.
मिलाकर
So,
सबके सहयोग से
with
और
all
गुरुदेव की कृपा से
your
हमने एक विनम्र
association and mercy of Guru Maharaj,
के ऊपर कुछ
I tried to
और
speak
वास्तव में
on this
श्रवण
Bhramar
किसका
Geet.
करा रहा था मैं खुद
And
ही श्रवण कर रहा था
what shall I say? I was not making you a listen, but
मैंने
even
पहले भी
I
कहा
was listening.
कि मैं
I said earlier as well
ये जो कार्य
that,
करने जा रहा हूँ
that
अकारण
this work that I'm
ये
going to do
चेष्टा करने जा रहा हूँ
is an
अनधिकार
unqualified
चेष्टा
attempt. It is an unauthorized attempt.
अधिकार हमारा
The
नहीं है नहीं
we
है
don't have any authority to speak on this topic. This is a divine tale of the Lord.
के मुख से सुना था
But as we have heard from
और इस
Guru
विनम्रता
Maharaj and
से
people had this
भाव
inquisitiveness,
समझ में आए न
so
आए
we thought that even if
इतना
we don't
नहीं
understand the mellow,
दिव्य वस्तु है
but
कोई
at
ऐसा
least
स्टेज
if we
है
get to a
जहाँ तक
stage
हमें
where
पहुंचना है भले वो
we
क्लियर
should
दिखाई नहीं
try
देता
to reach, although it might not be clearly seen by us,
ऐसे
but
दिव्य
still we should know our goal. So, this divine state,
साधना करते हुए
by performing the pure devotional service
इस
towards the
अवस्था
Lord,
ये हमारा लक्ष्य है
then
इस
we
लक्ष्य
should try to achieve that. That is our goal.
मैं बार बार कहता हूँ
I
कि इस
say
कथा
it
के
again and
दौरान
again.
अनेकों त्रुटि
During the time of the Katha,
ज्ञाता नहीं हूँ
I am not
कोई
a
व्याकरण
person
का पंडित नहीं हूँ
knowledgeable of Sanskrit or grammar.
थोड़ा बहुत जो सुन लेता हूँ प्रस्तुत करता हूँ
I
बहुत
just
सारी त्रुटियां रही
present what I hear and learn. So there might be so many faults.
तो उसे सुधार
So
कर आप
please for,
ग्रहण कीजिए और कोई कमी रह गई
lis-
हो तो क्षमा
listen, removing all the faults and shortcomings. And
और
if
धन्यवाद
there are
करता
some
हूँ आप
faults,
सभी
then
भक्तों
please
को कि आप सभी भक्तों का भाव ही रिफ्लेक्ट होकर यहाँ प्रस्तुत
forgive
हो
me.
रहा है
And all
आप
your
सभी भक्तों
mellows
ने
are
बड़े ऊंचे
reflecting
भाव
in
से
this beautiful Katha.
बड़े शुद्ध बड़े
You
विनम्र
all
भाव
have
से कथा सुनी
heard
और आज
with so much
सातवां
purity and
दिन
austerity.
समाप्त हुए
And
मैं
now
विशेष
the
धन्यवाद
7th day is
करता हूँ
included. I especially want to thank
कथा यजमान परिवार
the
को
host
यानी
family,
चतुर भाई और
the
कमला
Chatur Bhai
इस पूरे पटेल परिवार
family,
को इन्होंने बहुत सुंदर भाव और प्रेम से
who
इस कथा को
organized with
आयोजित
so
किया
much love and mellow,
राधा
organized
श्याम
this
सुंदर
Katha.
प्रभु सविता
Shri
माता
Radha Shyam Sundar Prabhu,
राधा श्याम सुंदर
Savita
प्रभु
Mata.
का ही अनुग्रह है पूरे परिवार पर
It is his mercy on the whole family who has
सिद्धांतवादी
that
है
he is very principled and
बड़ी कठिनता से वे पालन करते हैं
he follow
तो धन्यवाद प्रभु
the path of bhakti truthfully.
भूमिका माता अमित कुमार
Bhumika Mata, Amit Kumar,
सुनील प्रभु पारुल
Sunil
माता
Prabhu, Parul
मनीषा
Mata,
बेन संजय कुमार
Manisha Pen,
आप सब ने इस
and
कथा का
Sanjay.
श्रवण किया
You all heard
जो
this
नए
Katha.
लोग होंगे
The new
उनको
people who
थोड़ा
have
सा
joined
विचित्र लगा होगा कि ये
might
केवल
have
कृष्ण
thought
को
it
डांटा
strange
जा रहा है
that the
कृष्ण का
Krishna
नाम
is being
उठाया जा रहा है
scolded
इसलिए
and
पहले ही
criticized.
कहा कि ये
That is why
वास्तव
I
में
earlier said
दिव्य गीत है
this
इसको
is the
समझने के लिए
divine
थोड़ा सा
tale.
हमें उठना होगा
We have to raise
यदि
ourselves
फिर भी
to
कोई आपको
understand or hear them.
संदेह हो संशय हो
That
तो
if
क्षमा
still
कीजिएगा
you have some
क्षमा
doubt,
कर दीजिएगा
please
सुनने के लिए
forgive
बहुत सारी
me.
बातें हैं लेकिन हाँ जो प्रेमी भक्त है
But
जो
the
प्रेम की कामना करते हैं प्रेम
devotees who want love of the God can definitely will progress in their unalloyed devotion towards the Lord. I pay respects to all of you and expect your benediction and mercy. As you all listen with so much heart, similarly, even I should have more attraction towards the pastimes of the Lord. And even if I get 1% of Srimati Radha Rani's love or fragrance, then also our life will be successful. So I ask the mercy at your lotus feet. Please bless us that we all are able to love Lord Sri Krishna. So I conclude the from the Vyaspit of Charlotte, US, the 324th Katha, Bhramar Geet, Part 1. We conclude. We conclude with Jai Jaikar.
पुराण के श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान